What if the town has been lying to everyone from the very beginning? In from Season 4, Episode 7, long-buried secrets start coming to the surface. A terrifying theory becomes public. Old victims return in horrifying ways. And while the residents try to fight back against the monsters, something far worse is already working against them from the inside. Because this episode isn't just about survival anymore. It's about discovering that the nightmare may have been repeating itself for generations. Let's break down everything that happened in Episode 7. The Reincarnation Theory. What if this entire nightmare has already happened before? The episode begins with Boyd gathering the residents to discuss a theory that sounds impossible, but strangely makes sense. He explains that Tabitha may somehow carry Miranda's memories, while Jade appears connected to Christopher. The idea isn't that they're literally the same people, but that some kind of cycle keeps repeating itself in Fromville. Suddenly, many strange events begin to fit together. Jade's visions no longer seem random. Tabitha's connection to things she should never know about suddenly feels important. It's as if certain people are being pulled into roles that existed long before they arrived in town. Not everyone agrees. Henry strongly rejects the theory and refuses to believe that Miranda's story could somehow be repeating through another person. The meeting quickly creates division among the residents, and while everyone argues, Sophia quietly watches from the sidelines. That's what makes the moment so unsettling. She doesn't need to create conflict herself. She simply watches the town tear itself apart and learns exactly who can be manipulated next. At this point, you have to wonder, are Tabitha and Jade really connected to the past? Or is the town creating these memories to keep everyone confused? The graveyard discovery. Sometimes the scariest answers are hidden where nobody wants to look. Searching for clues about the man in yellow, Victor, Tabitha, and Ethan travel to a graveyard filled with abandoned vehicles. The place feels haunting from the start. Every rusted car seems to belong to someone who entered the town and never made it out. As they search through the wreckage, they discover something horrifying hidden inside a glove compartment. A pouch filled with human teeth. The discovery immediately changes the mood of the episode. These aren't random remains. They appear to be trophies connected to victims from different periods in the town's history. For Victor, the moment is especially traumatic. The discovery reminds him of the massacre he witnessed as a child, and suddenly all those old fears come rushing back. He starts believing that history isn't just repeating itself someday. It is repeating itself right now. The panic on Victor's face says everything. He's seen this pattern before, and he knows where it leads. The question now becomes terrifying. Who did those teeth belong to? And if the man in yellow has been collecting victims for decades, how many people have truly fallen into his hands? Henry's vision. What if the thing you want most becomes the thing that destroys you? Henry spends much of the episode trying to process everything happening around him. Then Sophia approaches him, and what seems like a harmless interaction quickly turns into something much darker. After she appears to place her blood into his drink, Henry begins experiencing a powerful vision. Suddenly, he's no longer trapped in Fromville. Instead, he finds himself inside a hospital back in the real world. For a moment, it feels like his nightmare is over. But the longer the vision continues, the more unsettling it becomes. Something feels wrong. The hospital doesn't feel real. The people around him don't feel real. What began as hope slowly transforms into fear. The scene perfectly demonstrates why Sophia is so dangerous. She doesn't attack people with violence. She attacks their minds. She finds their deepest desires and uses them against them. For Henry, nothing matters more than escaping the town. So she gives him exactly what he wants to see. But was it real? Was it a glimpse of the outside world? Or was it simply another trap designed to break him psychologically? Boyd's trap fails. Just when it seems like the residents are finally fighting back, everything goes horribly wrong. Boyd decides that enough is enough. Instead of waiting for the monsters to attack, he creates a risky plan to trap one of them using a talisman. For the first time in a long while, the residents are taking the offensive. There's a sense of hope and determination that hasn't existed in the town for quite some time. But that hope doesn't last. The monsters somehow know exactly what's happening. Every move Boyd makes seems anticipated before it even happens. The trap collapses almost immediately, and it becomes clear that someone, or something, warned the creatures in advance. Soon chaos erupts across the town. Monsters begin swarming the area, forcing Kenny onto a bus where he comes face to face with Smiley in one of the episode's most intense scenes. It looks like Kenny is finished. Then Fatima does something nobody expected. She somehow influences Smiley's behavior, revealing what appears to be a supernatural connection to the creatures. That moment changes everything. If Fatima truly has the ability to affect the monsters, then she may hold answers that nobody else in town possesses. But what exactly is happening to her? And could she become the key to turning the fight against the creatures? Ending explained. The dead should stay dead. In Fromville, apparently they don't. As the episode reaches its final moments, Colony House is thrown into panic when a familiar figure appears. It's Roger. The problem is that Roger is already dead. What makes the scene even more horrifying is his appearance. He has no eyes, he has no jaw. Yet somehow he's standing there. The sight is disturbing enough to leave everyone frozen in shock. This doesn't feel like a resurrection. It feels like something much darker. The episode suggests that Roger's soul has become trapped within the town's strange spiritual cycle, unable to move on and unable to truly die. At the same time, Sophia begins performing a bizarre ritual involving fertilized eggs. Everything points toward her attempting to manipulate trapped souls and interfere with whatever exists between life and death. If that's really what she's doing, Roger may only be the beginning. And that's perhaps the scariest thought of all. Because if the dead can return, then nobody in this town is ever truly gone. What do you think Sophia is trying to accomplish? And if Roger came back, who could be next? Episode 7 feels like a major turning point for From. The town's past is becoming clearer. The monsters seem more connected to everything than ever before. And Sophia continues proving that she may be the most dangerous threat in Fromville. But perhaps the biggest revelation is that this nightmare may not be happening for the first time. It may be happening again. And if the cycle truly is repeating itself, the residents could be heading toward the same tragic ending that came before them.